What's good, everybody? Corbino here. I've been wanting to do this video series for a while. I was going to call it Xtember, and I was going to call it Xtober, but I just kept putting it off and putting it off. Wasn't able to get time to record the videos, to edit them. You know how it goes. But yeah, so now I'm finally able to record these videos. I got them all ready. I don't know what month they'll come out in. There may be an X pun to go with it. I'm not sure. X-Buary, X-March, it doesn't really work this early in the year. We're coming up pretty early in the year, the point of this recording. Anyways, this is an X-Men month. Depending on what month this comes out, I don't know. I have went back and rewatched all the X-Men movies with my mom over the summer because she's only seen, I think, like 3 of them maybe. And yeah, now the series is over, so I figured best time to do all these crazy videos. I got a lot of fun ones planned. I think 5 or 6 in total. We're gonna start off with the ranking of the X-Men movies. Now this is 14 X-Men movies. I am including the Rogue cut of Days of Future Past, and I'm including Once Upon a Deadpool, just so we all know, because those are still, yes, they're similar, but they still have a lot to give, a lot different. Alright, let's get started. Number 14 is X-Men 1. I know, people hate it when I say that, but now that I've watched it, it's not that, now that I've watched it more recently. I did an X-Men movie ranking a few years back, like freshman year of college, I think. So that, I don't even know if Apocalypse was out yet. Maybe. And I'm pretty sure I put that and X2 pretty high up. But now that I went back and rewatched them, oh my god. X1 is so bland. Just blandness. They butcher Rogue, which, I already knew they did that, but it was just so bland. Storm's not good. I used to think Halle Berry's Storm was good, but it's really... She's not terrible, but she's nowhere near good. Wolverine and Professor X and Magneto, yeah, they're great. But I've grown to like... What's her name? Famke? Famke? The Jean Grey of the original movies. I've grown to like her more after rewatching the X-Men series, because I used to hate her. But she's still not that great. Cyclops is alright. Yeah, there's some fun cameos in there of Kitty and Jubilee and shit. But like, oh my god, Toad's alright. I didn't really understand this. When he does that. And the whole, it's funny, to look back at. But it's not cool when Storm says the infamous line, you know what happens to a toad when it's struck by lightning? The same thing as everything else. Like, what the fuck was that? Sabretooth looked straight out of the comic books, but it still wasn't that great. Mystique was pretty good, but it just was not a good movie. It wasn't, and I'm sorry. I get for the 2000s it probably was, but it was just so dark and bland, and like, the X-Men I know are colorful. Half the series are called blue, red, gold, black, like, their colors are in the names. Their costumes are all, they don't even match. Yeah, they'll have the little similarities, but they don't match. They're all colorful, fun, and that's just bland. And I feel like a lot of people love the X-Men 90s cartoon, and like, have you seen that? That's colorful as hell. Anyways, next is X-Men Origins. Number 13 is X-Men Origins Wolverine. Now, from 13 to 1, they're all pretty good in their own way, but still not that great. A lot of people hate it when I say that I actually like X-Men Origins Wolverine. How I would put it is like, here's X-Men 1, it's all the way down there somewhere. But then I'm going to put X-Men Origins Wolverine right here, and then we'll slowly start getting to the better ones. But yeah, the first X-Men movie is garbage. It's not good, and I don't plan to watch it again anytime soon. But X-Men Origins Wolverine, I think from what I've known about Wolverine's origin, and I'm pretty sure I've read his, like, main origin story arc, like, in collective form. Overall, yeah, him and Sabretooth aren't brothers, but that's still a cool little addition, change. And they do his backstory justice enough, and it's cool. They introduce Blob, and yeah, they introduce some random characters no one cares about, Agent Zero and crap. But Wade Wilson's Deadpool, which they got the whole Ryan Reynolds playing him 100% right. That was fantastic up until they butchered him and make him Barakapool. But as Ryan Reynolds as Wade Wilson was great. Not Deadpool, but great. Liev Schreiber, I love him as Sabretooth. Oh my god, it's amazing. And yeah, I don't understand how he becomes the Sabretooth in the first X-Men movie, but I like to pretend it's something similar to what happened to Wolverine. But yeah, the CGI was a little messed up, and yeah, it really, the third act is where it really gets it. But overall, it was still a pretty good movie. Number 12 is The Wolverine, another great movie. When this came out, I still didn't understand the whole movie rights thing. And I thought that this was somehow in the MCU because Viper was in it, who was like also Madam Hydra. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that is a thing. So I thought, holy crap, Madam Hydra's here. She's going to be fighting Captain America in the next movie, right? Clearly I was wrong and I didn't understand rights at the time. But I thought that was a fun story. Yukio was fun. Wolverine with a katana, and katanas in general are fun. Yeah, it was a good movie. It wasn't terrible, it wasn't too great, but I found the action fun, the train scene was fun, the end credits setting up Days of Future Past, that was kind of cool. At the time I had never seen the end credit of Last Stand to know that Professor X was alive, so I was very confused of that. But yeah, now rewatching it, it's still a good movie, but it's not amazing. But it's got fun action is really what saves it. Number 11 is X2, or X-Men United. Again, same problem as the first one. It was so bland. So bland. And no joke, if Nightcrawler wasn't in this movie, it probably would have been, was number 13. It probably would have been. But Nightcrawler bumped it up so much. Who's the guy that plays him? He plays Loki in Son of the Mask. The Great Kazoo and the Flintstones live action. What is his name? I can't think of his name. But he plays Nightcrawler and he does an amazing job. Yes, I would have loved to see a more blue Nightcrawler. Like, Caitlin started watching the X-Men series when we first got together, and like I was at work and she was staying home watching them. And she quit because she watched the first two movies and she said, these are too boring. They're just not fun like the Marvel movies. And I was thinking, she's crazy. The X-Men and X2, they're amazing. Why can't she get through them? And now rewatching them, I understand why she quit. And she popped in on like two of the movies that my mom and I were watching. Was like, oh, this is actually good. Makes me kind of want to watch it. But she doesn't want to sit through the boring beginning of the series. But when I asked her, I was like, who's your favorite X-Men so far? She was like, the black one. And I was like, there's no black, like, main characters in the first two movies. She was talking about Nightcrawler, because he looks black. He doesn't look blue at all, unless you get him in the right lighting. So that bothered me, and I would have loved to see him in his, red costume, but that was fine. But yeah, Nightcrawler is what made the movie better for me. I thought Stryker was kind of fun. And you got a quick cameo of Colossus before he becomes like more prominent in the third movie. You get some fun cameos and stuff here and there, but yeah, it was good, but it wasn't great. And a lot of people put that as the number one X-Men movie, but no, I'm sorry, it is not, guys. It is not by a long shot. Number 10 is Deadpool 2. Deadpool 2 was fun, but it wasn't Deadpool. I thought it was cool to have the Juggernaut and stuff. I just thought it was lazy. Yeah, it's real funny. It's a real funny movie, and Ryan Reynolds does an amazing job. I've really fallen in love with the Domino character the last few years in comics. I thought Zazie Beetz did an alright job playing her. I wasn't in love with it, but it wasn't terrible. I was kind of sad because I feel like Weasel and Blind Owl were sort of like, had no parts in this movie. And Weasel might have been because at that time I think TJ Miller was being like investigated for, the Me Too movement thing. And the taxi driver I didn't expect to return to the sequel, but he did. And he got way too much, like he wasn't as funny as he was in the first one. Negasonic, Teenage Warhead, and Colossus. That was fun seeing them again. I thought they did great. Yukio confused me because is she not Yukio from the Wolverine? I don't know. I was really excited just to have all these new X-Men, or, X-Force. I thought it was going to be cool having all them, but they killed them all. Vanisher, Bedlam, freaking Zeitgeist. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't know who any of them are, and if I do, I only know a little bit about them. But I thought that they were going to be in the movie. They were not. The only one I was really excited for was Shatterstar. I thought he looked great, but nope, got rid of him real quick, too. The little boy villain was, what was his... I can't even think of what his name was. He was alright. It just wasn't that great of a movie. Then they teased the Essex house, which makes me think of Mr. Sinister again. And I know that they were reshooting New Mutants to put Mr. Sinister in it, but I don't think that's ever even going to happen. I don't know. It was just Cable was good, but still not great. I felt like they could have found someone better than Josh Brolin to play Cable. Josh Brolin is amazing as Thanos, but I just think they could have found someone better for Cable, and also taller for sure. But yeah, it was a fun movie, real funny. You get your laughs, but I just thought it was kind of lazy compared to the first one. Number 9 is Once Upon a Deadpool. That's the PG-13 version of Deadpool, or Deadpool 2. I don't think they did it for Deadpool. I can't find it anywhere if they did. Not sure why they did it for the second one. But it's funny because Fred Savage is there, and Fred Savage is a funny guy. And Deadpool and Fred Savage going back and forth, breaking the fourth wall as he does, and bleeping out stuff, editing stuff. It made the movie funnier for me, honestly. There was points where you would forget that Fred Savage was even in this movie because it would just disappear for a long time. But it was a fun movie. I found that to be fun. I completely forgot to say this about the first, or Deadpool 2, and both of these. The end credit scenes are awesome. They bump the movie up. Number 8 is X-Men Apocalypse. When I first saw that, I put that at number 1. I was like, that is amazing. But rewatching it, it's still good, but it's not great. Apocalypse was iffy as a villain. I thought Magneto was great again. Quicksilver had that awesome scene. The end scene was awesome where it sets everybody up wearing suits, but then that goes nowhere. It makes me mad that we got introduced to them so late, but it's awesome because I prefer this Nightcrawler, this Storm, this Jean Grey, this Cyclops, and even this Jubilee, even though she got no lines, not a name mentioned, nothing. Her deleted scene where she actually finally uses her powers wasn't even in the movie. At this point is when Jennifer Lawrence is starting to not be Mystique anymore, so she's always Jennifer Lawrence. Gets annoying. It was a fun movie. Moira McTaggart returned, so that was fun. Yeah, it was a fun movie. It had a lot of cool characters. Angel returned, which I'd say he's the worst out of the two Angels. Psylocke was there finally, actually there, and I think Olivia Munn could have been amazing at Psylocke. I remember seeing her post all these videos of her training with swords and fighting to be Psylocke, and then they do nothing with her, and it was like, why did she do all that training then? But still, she looked straight out of the comics. There was a lot of fun and awesomeness there, and it could have been so much better, but it just wasn't. Number 7 is X3, X-Men The Last Stand. People are going to have my head on a spike when they hear this. But rewatching it, I was nervous as hell to get to X3. It is damn good. The story's the best out of the original trilogy. Oh my god. Original trilogy was just not good. They had like a full-on team of X-Men and a full-on team of Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Yeah, the Phoenix Saga wasn't that great, but honestly, people look at that movie like it's supposed to be a Phoenix Saga movie. But it's not. If it is, then yeah, they did a poor job at it. But I truly don't believe it was meant to be a Phoenix Saga movie. I think they were just putting that in the background just to have it. But the main story there was this new team of X-Men and the Cure, like, and trying to fight, you know, the Cure, and people being okay with it, some people not. It wasn't about Jean Grey at all. So that, I mean, yeah, I guess if that's what you're going there for, then that definitely goes down, because it wasn't that great of a Phoenix story. And yeah, they killed Cyclops right away. Wasn't very fun. But Wolverine's back, killing it. Storm is actually doing alright in this movie. I don't hate Halle Berry's Storm. Ellen Page, top 10 actresses for me. I love her. And so her as Shadowcat, probably my favorite X-Men, if not top 3. Definitely my favorite female X-Men. That just boosts the movie up. And yes, she wasn't an amazing Shadowcat, but still, again, it's Ellen Page as Shadowcat, so it boosts her up. Get to see some Colossus, boost it up. Rogue, I felt like kind of took a backseat in this movie, boost it up. Kelsey Grammer as Beast, holy shit, boost that up. God, I wish we could have seen more of that. He was, in that one movie, was perfect. Then we saw him for a millisecond in Days of Future Past, and it's like, damn, I wish I could see you again. Kelsey Grammer as Beast is, I don't know who's going to play Beast in the future, but that's who you got to live up to, is Kelsey Grammer as Beast. Not Nicholas Hoult, don't get me wrong, he was good. But Kelsey Grammer in that one movie, he is Hank McCoy. That was amazing. So that boosted up. Angel's never been that great of an X-Men, so, you know, he's there, but we also bring him down. Also, that's the first X-Men movie that has all 5 original X-Men, even if it's not all at the same time. I don't do any other, none of the others have all 5 X-Men, again, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think any of the others have all 5 X-Men at once. The original 5. But yeah, it's more colorful. Yeah, they're all wearing the black suits, but they each got, one's got like a yellow lining to it, blue or red. They each have different things. Juggernaut's hilarious. Not, and he's not good, but his hilarity makes it better. I thought it was cool to bring in Multiple Man, you know, a few extra, you know, smaller villains. I didn't like that they took Mystique's powers away in that movie and then just got rid of her. That didn't really make any sense, and she's been so loyal to Magneto, I really don't think he would just toss her to the side like that, but I don't know. This movie was just way more fun. This one was way more fun than the previous 2. It had more color, more action, more mutants, just more, it was just so much better. Number 6 is Dark Phoenix. Yeah, they definitely didn't go out on an amazing note, but they definitely went out better than they came in, even though most people aren't going to agree with that. Makes me mad that this movie starts and we're in some bland-ass looking cloth yellow costumes. We set up at the end of the last movie to wear those costumes, which I knew. I mean, I think we all knew that they weren't going to actually be wearing those next movie, but it would have been nice. But I got to see more Nightcrawler, which was fun. I got to see him really break free, because, you know, Nightcrawler's he's a pacifist. He's, you know, real religious. To see him get angry, that's always awesome. Jean Grey, I just think Sophie Turner's Jean Grey was great, and I would love to see her as Jean Grey more, but I don't really think that's going to happen. I think they'll get older people in the MCU, but still, she did great. I thought, what is his name? The guy from Ready Player One is Scott. Still was doing a great job. He's got the angstiness to him, you know what I mean? Professor X is freaking dick in this movie, though. Like, don't get me wrong, I thought he was a good Professor X. Was freaking James McAvoy. But he was a dick in this one. Magneto's still doing cool, and Genosha, I'm pretty sure that was Genosha. I don't remember if they said it outright, but Genosha's first appearance in live action, so that's cool. These aliens, I guess, were supposed to be Skrulls, I believe, until Captain Marvel was coming out, which would have been cool. They weren't that great of a villain. They were still alright-ish, but, yeah, Jessica Chastain was an alright. I just realized Jessica Chastain and, that's funny. 2 characters from it are also in this. But, yeah, they weren't that great, but they were alright villains. I thought it was really, because, like, obviously the franchise is already ending, so, like, honestly, they should have killed Jennifer Lawrence, or Mystique in the last movie, just because she clearly didn't want to be there anymore. But I think they did a real good job with getting rid of her in this movie, like, how they killed her off. because like she didn't want to be there anymore, but they still gave her like a heroic type of death, and I thought that was a really good way to send her character off, who's been there. Mystique's been there since the beginning of the series, and Jennifer Lawrence has been here since, what is that, 2011 or something like that. I thought that was a really good way to get rid of her character since she didn't want to be there anymore. And it raised the stakes. I thought Beast was pretty good in this movie. Not fantastic, but still good. Made me mad. Jubilee wasn't here again, but like you would think, because it seemed like they became friends with her in the last movie, she'd be here. They don't mention Psylocke or Angel or anything from the previous movie, really. Quicksilver's back, and he gets his leg hurt right away. He doesn't get to have his iconic, scenes that he had in the first two movies, which sucks. A lot of people say that the in-space scene is his, but it just wasn't the same. And he gets hurt, and he's out the rest of the movie until the very end, which sucks. And then they renamed the school to the Jean Grey School or whatever, like it is in the comics. But in the movie universe, it would have made more sense to name it after Raven or Mystique or whatever. Either way, it was a fun movie. It wasn't the best way to go out. I think Logan should have been the finale movie. Yeah, you could still have all the movies that came after Logan, just put them before it, But yeah, it was still a great movie. Not great, still a good movie, fun. Oh, Holston Sage. I've really fallen in love with her acting over the last few years. From The Orville and some of her smaller indie films. And her cameoing as Dazzler, that was awesome. Really loved that. Number 5 is Deadpool. I mean, Ryan Reynolds fought so hard to get this made, and he finally did, and he is Deadpool. Nobody else can play him, and that's why the Marvel Cinematic Universe is keeping him. The only person they're keeping from the X-Men movies, at least to my knowledge, and as long as they don't change things up. He is Deadpool. It was perfect. The villain was okay. Vanessa was a fun love interest. I believe she's Copycat in the comics. I'm not 100%. But yeah, Weasel was fun. The taxi driver dude was fun. Colossus looked great. I love Colossus, and that was fun. The characters were very fun in that. The Easter eggs, just so many fourth wall breaks. It was just such a fun movie, and they nailed it. Costume, everything, they nailed it 100%. And I hope that the MCU can do it as well as Fox did Deadpool. Alright, didn't realize, but we're down to the last 4. Number 4 is X-Men First Class. I used to really not like this movie, and I don't know why. I think X-Men First Class does a really good job of setting up Magneto and Professor X's frenemy thing. It's a cool way to introduce Mystique. It's a cool way to introduce how Professor X is paralyzed. We get to meet Banshee, what's Salazar Angel, or Angel Salazar, there we go. You get to meet Nightcrawler's dad, which is a little creepy because he's so much older than Mystique in this series. But Azazel was a creepy guy. Michael Fassbender was such an amazing Magneto. Kevin Bacon was in there as what is his name? I want to say Trask, but that's Peter Dinklage. What is his name? That's gonna really make me mad. Not Black Tom Cassidy. Shaw, something Shaw or whatever. That's who he is. He did good job as Shaw. I thought Emma Frost could have been better. Yeah, they definitely got an attractive girl to play her, January Jones. Because you gotta get a real attractive girl to play Emma Frost. That's just her character. And don't get me wrong, I think they shouldn't leave her in her underwear the whole time. But for Emma Frost's character, that's just who she is. Like, that's what she's always dressing as. And I thought they had Emma Frost fully dressed a little too much for her character. Now, that sounds weird to say, but that's how her character is. But still, I thought January Jones did an alright job as Emma Frost. Not amazing, not terrible. But Azazel was awesome. You got to see all these smaller characters, Havoc. It was cool to see the beginning of the X-Men. It was cool to see Beast go from Hank McCoy to Beast, and just so much. It was a fun origin story with fun action and stakes, and I thought it was cool to show how they all choose their sides at the end of the movie, even though it kind of goes back and forth after that. Still, it was cool to show how they chose their sides. Number 3 is Days of Future Past. That movie is fan-frackin-tastic. It's got X-Men present and future, or past and future, present, whatever you want to call it. And we get to see basically everybody who's been an X-Men up to that point return, like, as a main X-Men. We don't see Angel again. We don't see Wraith, I thought, for what I know of the Days of Future Past storyline, they did alright. I think it would have been fun to have Wolverine and Shadowcat go back. Plus, I love Ellen Page and Kitty, so that would have been awesome to see them both go back. But obviously, you gotta send Hugh Jackman back. It makes me mad because they don't explain how Kitty gets these sending through time powers. I always justify it as, she can go through walls, so she can go through time. Not a very good justification, but they never explained it. But yeah, Bishop looks great. Yeah, you don't get a lot of them, but Bishop looks great. You get my girl Blink. You get a Sunspot in there. Iceman returns. Colossus is back. You get Halle Berry Storm with short hair. That's real fun. The whole action. The Sentinels in the past look better than the ones in the future, in my opinion. But in the past, we get the X-Men we're already working with. We get introduced to Quicksilver. A lot of nice cameos and Easter eggs of different characters. I thought Michael Fassbender's Magneto was fantastic in that movie. It was a great movie, but we're going to lead right into number 2, X-Men Days of Future Past, the Rogue Cut. I think that one makes it just slightly better than the original release. Kitty gets injured when Wolverine's swinging around like that, and then Rogue, they have to find Rogue, bring her in, and that makes more sense to have Rogue send him back. And I think that's what they should have done originally, is just have Rogue come in, because she was such a big part of the original trilogy. Why not bring her back? Have her send him back, have Kitty go back too, that'd be great, but if not, that's fine too. And just like in the original, everything gets back to normal. You get to see Kelsey Grammer Beast again. You get to see Jean Grey, Cyclops. Everybody's returned to life. Everything's good. Wolverine doesn't exactly know what's going on there. But yeah, all of those movies, they did good. Both of these movies did good. All the X-Men movies did good in their own right. But yeah, now we're leading to number 1, Logan. That should have been the swan song of the series. Should have ended on that. Should have pushed that, make it the exact same movie, but just wait a little bit. Have the Deadpools, Logan came after Apocalypse and the first Deadpool, so really have Deadpool 2 and have Dark Phoenix. I think those are the only ones. Push them, or bring them back earlier, and then put Logan at the end. That would have been an amazing movie to send out on, because we got to say goodbye to all these characters in different movies. We got to say goodbye to all the X-Men in Days of Future Past, and Dark Phoenix, and other characters in other movies. And so, if we got to say goodbye to Wolverine in Logan, and it would have been a really good way to send it off, because he's the only one that's been in, I think, almost every one of the movies. Except for, he made cameos in the Deadpool movies, but not legit. And he wasn't in Dark Phoenix. But aside from Dark Phoenix, I think he was in every single X-Men movie. Or made cameos. But yeah, so he was in all of the movies. And then Professor X was in a good bit of them. The first 3, then a cameo in Origins, and then the Wolverine, Days of Future Past. So he's in most of them too. But yeah, that movie was fantastic. Sort of shows what happens in this alternate timeline. Everything's been fixed, happy ending like we thought. But no, Professor X is getting old, and he's killed the X-Men, most of the mutants out there in the world. And then you get Daphne Keene's Laura Kinney, or X-23, which was amazing. And I think I love it so much because it reminds me so much of The Last of Us, and I love that game. But X-23 is also one of my favorite characters. And they just really, that movie, can't say enough good things about it. There is problems, of course, but there's so many more amazing things in it than there are bad things. And it just was an amazing way to send out Wolverine from these past 17 years of him playing that character. And imagine, that was almost, if we would have put Logan this year instead of Dark Phoenix and pushed the rest back, that would have made him 19 years, almost 2 decades of playing the same character. That would have been real cool. But yeah, it was just a fun character. I thought Caliban was a real fun addition to this movie. Yeah, we get to see some small mutant roles, but nothing too great. We get some callbacks, we get some cool X-Men comic Easter eggs, stuff like that, but overall it was a fun movie, and the whole series as a whole was fun. And yeah, Dark Phoenix wasn't the best way to go out, and X-Men wasn't the best way to go in, but they did it anyways. We made it here, 19 years of X-Men movies. Again, kind of wish we made it a full 2 decades, you know, they deserve that. But yeah, I hope the MCU does justice to the X-Men. They've done justice to everybody else, basically, so I figure they'll do a good job. But yeah, that's all 14 X-Men movies ranked. Let me know. I know you guys are going to disagree with some of my choices, but let me know down below what's your number 1, what's your least favorite, or let me know all 14. Yeah, and until next time, I don't know. The X-Men movie, go watch the X-Men movies. Not all of them, but most of them. Until next time, stay geeky.